Hello, a very good afternoon, good morning to you, wherever you're watching this from. Welcome to Salesbuildr Unplugged. This is now our monthly live session. So we were doing weekly sessions and we realized actually, I think we could probably cram this into one sort of bumper monthly product update. So the whole idea is that we're going to go through what's happened in Salesbuildr over the past few weeks in terms of product development. We're going to hear from some senior members in the business, so Martijn and Victor. I've got COO and the founder, so we're in good company here in terms of finding out where the product's going. I've also got Bram from customer success, who's on the front line and always there to share his golden tip of the month now. Before we get started, first of all, we'd like this to be interactive if possible. If you're watching it on the recording, then that's absolutely fine. Understand. But if you want to let us know where you're tuned in from, that would be great. If you've got any questions, let us know how you're getting on with your sales process. If you're using Salesbuildr, drop something in the chat. Let us know how you're getting on with it. If you've got any questions, we're more than happy to deviate from what we're going to talk about. We've got a bit of an agenda for you, but happy to go into any area and dive into the software and show you some things if that's what would be helpful. But first of all, what I'd like to do is share with you what's new in terms of the content, just very briefly. So we've been working on we try and create as much content as possible that's not salesy, that's not pushing Salesbuildr, that's of value to you, that's giving you general advice as an MSP, whatever it is you're doing. So we've got a couple of new pieces on Salesbuildr TV. I'm not sure if you're watching this on Salesbuildr TV or whether it'll be on LinkedIn, so we're on both. But there's a couple of videos that are new that I'd like to draw your attention to. So if you have a look, we've got a brilliant interview, if I do say so myself, basically, I just find really intelligent people at channel events and just doorstop them and get whatever advice I can out of them in a short space of time. And these are two brilliant ones. We've got Sean Walsh, who is the author or co-author of the Pumpkin Plan, which is all around basically how to find your perfect clients, how to get rid of those ones that perhaps aren't relevant or perhaps aren't making you money, how to structure your business, how to standardize. I mean, he really is a fountain of knowledge. Let me give you just a little snippet of our chat together.
That when most MSPs go in and sell, they go in and they are talking to the prospect and they're saying, hey, I'm going to give you 24/7 monitoring. And the prospect's agreeing with them, saying, yeah, I absolutely need that. And we're going to give you this great firewall to keep the bad guys out. And the prospect's saying, yeah,
look at all my shiny things. Look at all my shiny things.
Right.
I've got
and you're
tools.
talking the technology.
Yeah.
And our techs, they only speak English. They're not going to use technical talk for you. And your prospect is like, yeah, that's fantastic. I need that too. And you walk out and you're thinking, I got this. This money's in the bank. You're pulling out of the parking lot. You're doing a fist bump. And then you get back to the office.
And there you go. I think what a lovely cliffhanger to leave that on. It's a brilliant chat with Sean. Check him out. Hopefully we're going to get him on the channels more. And then another chat with a lady called Carrie Richardson from Managed Sales Pros, who is an absolute veteran when it comes to generating new business in the MSP space. She's worked with hundreds of MSPs, tens of vendors, and is always worth listening to. And it's one of my favorite interviews so far. So I'll give you a quick snippet of that.
Well, the first problem is that everybody thinks that they need to talk to the CEO and they think that they should go from the top down. And that just isn't the case. So I believe in first point of contact lead qualification. Anybody that picks up the phone can tell you how many computers they have there. It's not proprietary information.
Yeah.
What am I going to do if I know that you have 15 computers?
Yeah.
Nothing.
You go straight in with that.
I go right in.
Is it
the first thing
hey,
I say is, hi, it's Carrie calling from ABC IT.
Yeah.
Who should I speak to provide a quote for IT support? And then I just shut my mouth. I don't.
Brilliant. And honestly, when this lady talks, it is absolutely worth listening. Her advice is amazing. So that's it in terms of the new content. There's some other bits on the site. If you ever want to go and check out our repository, check out Salesbuildr TV. That's the place to find it all. So without further ado, I need some company on this live session. So I'm going to bring in, first of all, Martijn and Victor. Wow, Victor, you're up close and personal. How you doing, guys?
Pretty good.
Excellent. Really good. Really good. We're using some new software. I mentioned to Victor, we're using some new software because we're doing some podcasting stuff as well. So I'm a bit out of my comfort zone, but we're all right. I think we're doing okay so far. It seems like the stream's good quality.
Yeah. Great.
So this is all about what's new in Salesbuildr. So we better dive into that really. So Martijn, you're COO. You've been really busy since you joined the business. How long have you been with us now? I lose track of time. I feel like I've been here longer.
Since June.
Since June.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Been busy shoring things up and putting in sort of policies and procedures in place and giving us a more solid foundation than ever before.
Yeah, that and making sure that we deliver amazing stuff for our customer base and make sure that we have that our growth is manageable and stays manageable.
Yeah, which is really reassuring. Victor, happy with the way things are going?
It's funny, like I talk to customers sometimes and then they say, well, you guys just keep on pushing updates. And then I said, well, it's just a couple of a month. But now I find myself needing to allocate some time of all the stuff that we are building. So I think it's going really well. And that's on the servers and under the surface. So it's also applying on the stability and the security and the scalability and also how efficient the team works. So I'm very happy with how things are playing out. And I think the team is cooking up really nice stuff. And most of that is based on customer feedback. So I'm excited to see what we can talk about today. Maybe show some stuff in the product as we go along.
Yeah, very good. I found it quite fun. I was saying to you, Victor, the other day, it's quite interesting because we get some videos through about what's happening in terms of new development. So the whole company's aligned. And it was quite funny to see you go, wow, that's really good. Didn't know necessarily that was here already. And so, yeah, it's quite nice to witness. It's a new phase for us. So let's dive in then, shall we? So we're going to split it, I think, into two. So we'll have a look at what's kind of been in the last month, and then we can have maybe a little chat about what's coming. But Martijn, do you want to take us away? What's been happening?
Yeah, sure. I can also. Well, let's kick off with one which is really exciting and I think a huge time saver for many of our customers, which is automatic purchase ordering for Ingram Micro.
Yes, yeah.
So this allows you to process the purchase order with Ingram Micro directly from Salesbuildr. It's very convenient, easy to use feature where, well, basically the whole process, which you would normally, spend time on manually processing that order, is now automated, and you can immediately see the order link and order number from Ingram Micro appearing inside Salesbuildr. So this works today for Ingram Micro, and we're working hard to extend that, of course, into TD SYNNEX and others moving forward. A little bit ahead of my list, what I wanted to tell about, but since this is so related, it's fine. So yeah, this is definitely one of the more exciting ones that we launched not so long ago, and well, we see that it takes some time normally for people to pick it up. So I hope this also helps to put some focus on it again, because everybody that sees it is like, wow, this is awesome. I want this. So
Shall we dive in a little bit into why it's awesome? So I'm just thinking there'll be some people perhaps who this will be relevant to, like some of the business owners, but perhaps aren't actually doing the clicking and the provisioning and things. So where does this really help? So what does the process look like without this?
I got it on my screen. If you want to talk, Martijn, I can show it while we talk. If that's handy.
Well, yeah, maybe do that.
Even better. Yeah.
Because I also I will. Oh, there's the share option. Okay, I will do a screen share after that, because I also have some other stuff to show here.
Let me.
Excellent. Yeah, we can set nice and clear. Don't forget, get your questions in as we go along if you'd like to ask anything about what you're seeing on the screen.
So what we're seeing on the screen is we have a proposal in Salesbuildr, and I just marked it as approved. Right, here's the proposal, and on the proposal we have a just an example Jabra headset from Ingram Micro. At least Ingram Micro is selected here, and that's now an approved proposal, right? So if we open up the opportunity in Autotask, then we can see it's closed, stage 5 closed, and here is the the quote. And as you can see on the quote, it has the Jabra Evolve headset. The only thing on the quote there, you can't track the distributor that you selected, but you can track that in Salesbuildr. And as you can see here, there's a section here for purchase orders. There's no orders found right now, but we're going to create one. So we have a pending order items here, and we're going to select that Jabra headset we need to procure from Ingram Micro. I'm going to create a new purchase order inside Salesbuildr. There it is. It's a development environment, so things can go south sometimes. Not always, but sometimes they do. And
So happy you're doing the demo.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see Martijn's getting nervous at this point. Not that we're not sure about our work.
From the video, but so there's the headset, right? So this is linked to the product in the product service catalog, into your sales portfolio. Here's your link proposal, and here you can also see that we check in real time against the API of Ingram that there's a cost difference, right? So we can click on there if we want to use the cost of today. Sometimes you send a quote, and then if it has a 14-day expiry period, then sometimes the prices in the intermediate gets changed. Can be costlier, can be cheaper. It's both possible, right? So here it checks the latest prices, and now from here I can say, okay, cost is a bit higher, well, a lot in this case, but it's an example, right? So I can save a note here, and I can place an order, and it says what it's going to do, right? It says, okay, I'm going to create the ticket charges, I'm going to create the purchase order and other task, and I will submit to Ingram Micro.
What would happen there, Victor, if that was if it was say it was more and you had to go back to the customer or something? How do you deal with that? You just reissue or something?
Normally, like if you send a proposal, if you get a proposal, there's normally something's going. Well, we'll see in the meantime what happens in the background. But when you send a proposal, you say, okay, this is valid for 7 days or 14 days or whatever, and then you guarantee that price for that period of time, so that you have the risk. When your cost goes up, your margin goes down. But when your cost goes down, your margin goes up. That's all in the game. If you want to prevent that, you can say, well, it's only valid for today.
Short windows.
Exactly. So I'm going to open up the purchase order in Autotask, right? Now something went wrong here. And let me also open up the ticket. Okay, so it created the ticket inside Autotask, and it added the quote to the ticket, and it added the headset as a charge. So normally, if you have a proposal, that's one. You need to create a post-sale ticket. You have the items that you sold as charges on the ticket. So you can then purchase them, procure them, track them, fulfill them. And once they are fulfilled, then either the team goes and install it, or you can bill it to the customer. So this prevents you from having to run the one opportunity wizard. And it saves you a bunch of clicks and screens and workflows.
And it's quite the one opportunity wizard is like 7-8 clicks, isn't it? Something like that. So exactly. It's a big time saver.
It's a lot of clicks. And then typically, again, this would add the line item from Ingram Micro on the purchase order inside Autotask for you, and then inside Salesbuildr, you will get the Ingram order number too from Ingram Micro. And then from there, you can go log into the Ingram Micro portal, and you can then check the status of the purchase order, and then you can manually receive the items in Autotask, and that's it. Right? And then you will have everything. You can track everything from Salesbuildr. There's a link to the ticket. It will have the link to the purchase order. It will have the link to the opportunity. So everything is done for you, and you won't have to manually create a basket, log in the Ingram Micro portal, and then manually adding all those articles in that basket, submitting the basket, and then copying all the information and manually creating the purchase order inside Autotask.
So this is just helping you stay within, well, basically stop switching windows constantly, which we know is massively inefficient.
Yeah, and it's a lot of manual data entry, and it's easy to make a mistake, and you eliminate all of that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And that's available now? Is that right? That's in the product at the moment?
It's live now, and the reason that it's now demoed on a test environment is because, it's our sandbox. If we do this live, we will be buried in headsets every time we test this.
Yeah, that's true.
Good headsets though.
But it's,
you pick the right ones. That's fine. I mean, I could do a new one.
It's live right now.
So if you want to learn more, you can go into the knowledge base. You can search for PO. It will direct you to this article, how to create send a purchase order, and it lays out everything, like how it works, how you set up an API account at Ingram Micro, what you need to enable, and then where you paste the API keys in Salesbuildr, and then how the workflow works and what it does.
Brilliant. Documentation in that knowledge base is spot on, isn't it? It's rich media and really clearly written. So yeah, use that for anything you want to know about Salesbuildr. Fantastic. That looks really good. So, Martijn, what's next on the horizon? Here.
Let me.
Don't forget, drop a note in the chat. Just let us know where you're watching from.
Yeah, I was getting all kinds of pop-ups from this.
Allow access. Allow access.
All the demo booked in HubSpot. Yes.
Let's just.
Run.
Yeah. Probably some customers know that we have a page where you can submit product ideas and feedback. What we do is collect that feedback. We collect the ideas that have a certain number of votes, usually more than 10, and we take those to the backlog and prioritize them. This process only makes sense and only invites people to actually put those ideas there if we do something with it, right? So,
you see it countless times, don't you? These ideas boards just full of stuff that's unattended. Yeah,
exactly. So just to highlight what we released not so long ago is one of the customer asks, which is show us a visual indicator for closed opportunities inside the quote. For closed opportunities in all the tasks. So right now you can see that here, that the opportunity status also shows the opportunity status from all the tasks. So this is a simple example of an idea that was originally coming from customers, was upvoted a few times and now is implemented. And our goal is to take at least one of those ideas into every sprint. Sometimes the features that are requested are a bit bigger, so we need more time to build those and schedule those. In that case, it might be that we skip 1 or 2 sprints before we release it, but this is how we sort of try to make this whole feature request process a bit democratic. So that is not about the biggest customer always gets what they want and the smaller do not. So this way, this is our process.
Definitely listening. Can you explain that, Martijn, just for a simpleton? Exactly what is that telling me then? So I'm a salesperson working out of this, and I've looked at my proposal. That's just telling me that it successfully closed the opportunity. That's something that I would have initiated, isn't it? That's something I would have set it that status, isn't it? Yeah,
true. But it's just for anyone to see. So of course you can just go to the original order task sales ticket or any other related thing to see the exact same, but we just moved it to order task again.
But it's useful so that other people, other team members basically that maybe weren't working on it can see it. I guess that's one of the main.
Yeah, it's clear, and apparently what the feedback was that in some cases the opportunity stage in order task was different than it should have been in Salesbuildr. So sometimes those opportunities were still open in order task while in fact they were already closed. So this is a simple way to verify that the status is the same on both sides.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Excellent. Yeah. Okay.
Another one is, let me quickly load that page, is a new set of dashboard widgets that we put in the opportunities page that show you some metrics about, what's going on in your business, number of opportunities created in the last 12 months, how many were closed, which calculates and gives a result of your conversion rate. how much of that is a recurring revenue and how much that is a one-off. And it also shows all the current opportunities and in which opportunity stage those are.
That's useful, isn't it? And presumably the filters then affect those numbers?
Yes, they do.
So you can look per person or per product group or...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we didn't have these, so we decided to give a bit more, and of course, with all the filtering and analyzing the data, you can get to the same results. But we just want to make it easy for people to do.
Yeah, we all have a good dashboard. It's essential, isn't it? Really.
Exactly. Yes. So that, then we have one which for some people is exciting, for others it's really boring topic.
I know what's coming. This is tax, isn't it?
Yeah, sales tax. So
not fluffy. It's not visually appealing.
Well, most Salesbuilder users will leverage the tax calculation option in Autotask or ConnectWise. People that use the application without an integration with those PSAs might need the option to do sales tax calculation themselves. So just to give an idea, I won't dive into the full feature exactly because, well, it's end of the day, it's sales tax, which is boring again. I just want to show that it supports, like if you're in a certain states, like an example in the United States, you might be on a border with other states, or you deliver in multiple counties or whatever. In that case, you need to apply the right sales tax, and we allow to create all those sales taxes, connect them to certain categories or certain products or certain customers, make customers tax exempt, etc. So basically, we can support the majority of sales tax regimes around the world to accommodate wherever you are, and have the correct sales tax calculations without the need of doing that through your PSA.
That's amazing. And we know that any of you guys working over there in the States, you have just more tax areas and considerations than we're fortunately we have to deal with over here. But it's great that we've got that in place to help you out.
Yeah, over here it's really simple. We just tax everything, and in the US you see sometimes that labor is not taxed while hardware is taxed. Sometimes if you deliver hardware and labor on one quote, both are taxed depending on the state. So I've seen many variants on that, so we implemented this. This is typically one of those features that are, well, it's not rocket science stuff, but it takes quite some time to implement and validate and test and make sure that the right rules apply in the right order. So this is a lot of back-end work, this was also coming from customers ultimately, the request to support this. So we listened. Let's see. We also added some enhancements to Whitespace. One of them is the ability to just simply click on one of those contracts and see the details of the contract that is showing for that customer. We also added the option to label certain contracts or customers based on Whitespace analysis, so you can easily find back upsell opportunities later.
I think the other one was the new tab, the second tab, the contract details.
Yes.
Where you can now see on the left side in the bottom filter is that it shows you where is the price in my product service catalog different from the price on the contract. So you can highlight what customers are you over on the billing, potentially. So you can then do a deep dive and make sure everything is correct. And the other thing we did is in the top, you can now group by vendor, customer, or category. And if you group them, you can then say, okay, you can sort by quantity, sort by revenue, margin, profit. And this will give you some insights into where am I making my money. And then if you learn where you're making your money, you can then use those insights to look for upsell opportunities within the customer base on the Whitespace tab. to search for that specific service and then see, okay, where can I sell this service? To what customers can I sell this service that haven't bought this yet? So that's like a nice workflow to go from A to B. One thing so to highlight this also now we're at this topic, right? So this overview actually tells you like what are my most profitable services or what I'm selling the most of, but it also tells you what are my least profitable services or what I not selling. And that's another important insight, right? We have all this stuff in your portfolio, but you're not selling it. You might take note and then say, okay, why don't we just remove that? If we have services in our portfolio that are not selling, get them out, or at least analyze why they are not selling. And the other thing that's also valuable, and it's maybe an underutilized little filter inside Salesbuildr, but this was the services perspective, right? This recurring services, which is the big bread and butter for most MSPs. But the other thing is the hardware. So all the stuff that's in the product database, maybe sometimes even for years, like most MSPs that we talk to say, well, Victor, we got 5,000 products in our product list in other tasks, and we don't know like what's the best way to clean it. Well, I'll tell you how to clean it. Well, you can go in here and say, okay, show me what has not been quoted since, let me say, June this year, right? And there we go. We can now say, okay, select all these products, all these 400 results. These products have not been sold in the last 6 months. Now, I don't know, maybe time to say, I'm going to deactivate those products so they can't be sold anymore. And we're going to now utilize the beep system, which is it's called the beep system in the Netherlands. I don't know what it's called in English, but until somebody says, hey, where's this KVM switch? Until that time, yeah, exactly. It's just going to stay hidden.
Yeah.
And then after 6 months, you can say, okay, now that's it. So this is now clean, and you have less trouble finding what you want.
Yes, absolutely. So already mentioned a bit in the beginning, purchase order support for TD Synnex and more distributors moving forward. During the part that Victor demoed on his screen share, you might already notice these little Hubspot icons showing up in certain spaces. This is the soon to be released Hubspot integration. We did a proof of concept internally to allow MSPs to directly link Hubspot to Salesbuildr if they use that for their sales and marketing. And this is scheduled to be released. It's actually, well, the MVP is being expanded with additional sync scenarios in the current sprint, which is scheduled for release October 21st.
Yeah, and I think if you're interested in this, you can already jump into the knowledge base, search for HubSpot. That will land you on an article called Working with HubSpot, which lays out everything you can do with it, some actionable examples, and it will also take you with us on the journey of what we're building and what's next. So you can get inspired, like, why should I use HubSpot alongside Salesbuildr and other tasks? When is this handy? How should I use it? What kind of triggers could I use when I integrate this? And the cool thing here is it will connect with your customers, contacts, and deals, which are the opportunities. And so, like, when you are ready to create a proposal, that's when you want to jump to Salesbuildr, and that will create the opportunity, and we'll also update the opportunity in HubSpot with the right contact person, with a link to the proposal, but also with the deal size, which will be calculated automatically based on what's inside the proposal in terms of one-time revenue and recurring revenue. So in that sense, and some companies prefer to use HubSpot as the sales dashboard to give an overview of the pipeline, as well as the website visits and the marketing qualified leads. So you get an overall picture of what's going on. That's the opportunity.
One is a new customer ask page numbers in quotes, which is upcoming, so you can add those as well. Yeah, fairly simple on the front end, challenging on the back end. We're also working on an integration with the ordering platform of the main Dutch telecoms provider KPN. And one important one is the integration with PAX8. And we will also be attending the PAX8 event in Berlin on October 13th. So please, if you visit, come by our booth and check it out. We should have a QA/beta version of the integration working then. So we look forward to that.
Yeah, we're also handing out free high fives. Oh, that's always nice. No expense spared. What I'm excited about is that the goal of Salesbuildr is to be the Switzerland in that sea of suppliers, right? So all the MSPs we talk to say, well, we actually have multiple license providers that we do business with. It's never one, it's always multiple. And we want to set them up that everything consolidates within Salesbuildr so they don't have to jump out to external windows and then again copy and pasting details into their proposal. We think it should be all streamlined in one interface. That's what we're bringing to the table. Yeah. Bye, guys.
You're welcome.
Bye, all.
Thanks.
And then we have a not so seamless transition. Did you like that? That was beautiful. Goodbye. And I just disappeared myself as well. Bram, how are you doing?
Doing well. Absolutely. How are you?
Yeah, really good, really good. How's what's happening in customer success at the moment? Anything interesting going on? You've got obviously Michael is new and is helping you out, and he's doing an amazing job.
Yeah, that's helping out a ton. Now that we have Michael on a team as well, that's helping out a ton, making sure that we're able to do just a lot more, and we can also be a little bit more proactive. Where in the past we've been very reactive. A lot of customers coming in with questions, a lot of onboardings needing to do. So just a lot of responding to what was needed, right? And I feel like now that we are together, we have a little bit more time to also proactively help customers out and tell them like, hey, how are you doing things? How can we do things better? Maybe sometimes even see how, kind of give them more best practices, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's pretty exciting.
That's really cool. It's such a huge platform that there's always scope to show people how to do things better and how to get more out of the feature set that we have. But on that note, do you have a tip for getting more out of the product for us this month?
Absolutely. And I think the thing we have today is maybe not only applicable to our product, but to a lot of products in general. But it's just something that I've seen, especially this week, working with a lot of our customers. That definitely applies to a lot of them that I spoke to the past few weeks. And that is that don't try to do everything in a unique way. And what I mean with that is I've seen a lot of times where customers would say, oh, but we do things a little bit differently. And then they show how they do things differently, but they are just kind of abusing systems that already work. Like, yeah, we want to be unique. And I completely 100% understand that you want to be unique as a business. But then once you're transforming that into the tooling, look at the best practices, look at what's available. I give you an example of that. I've worked with a couple of customers where we've noticed that the naming of, let's say, a product was used for something completely different. And then they asked us if we can change our tooling to accommodate for that different work method that they had in there. And of course, well, we can't go ahead and change our entire product just because you misuse the naming convention, as an example, right? That's a small, I think that's a small example, but the bigger thing is standardization also means looking at the best practices of the different toolings and making sure that if you want to use a lot of tools to simplify your life, but you also look at those best practices and see how you can implement those best practices instead of trying to cheat the system to accommodate something differently.
That's really good. Thank you for that. Yeah, it sounds like that's coming from some bitter experience. It was a bit of a
no, it's something that I've seen a lot lately, especially, and I've seen a lot of different customers that like, and if any of the people listening here, it's definitely not a direct stab at you after we've worked together or something. It's something that I've seen across multiple across multiple.
Appreciate that.
Instances.
It's not a therapy session. It's fine.
It's happening more often than you would think. That fields are being abused for things that those fields are not abused for, and then we come in and we see just a complete mess, and they try to scale, and then those things start to break. Once you're maybe with like 5 people or something like that, that is perfectly workable. But then once you hire, maybe you start to grow, you start to hire more people, and they'd be like, hey, why is the amount filled with something else? Well, yeah, that's something that we did 3 years ago. Like, okay. It just adds a lot of confusion. And it prevents...
Yeah, particularly if you have like staff turnover. Yeah, exactly that. If you want to get ready to scale, then there's some work to do up front, isn't there? And sometimes it is a little bit uncomfortable. And I guess this is just another one of those pieces that maybe you need to address sometimes, as well as clearing out the sort of the clutter and standardizing on a lot of the sort of standardizing on the content or the processes and so on.
Yeah.
It's all part of getting ready.
Yeah, I was actually speaking just to a customer about this today as well. And he was saying like, this stuff works quite well when you're with 10 people. Because you can still get the message across. Oh, this is what we're doing. Everybody agrees. Sure, everybody agrees, and you can go on. But then once you have an MSP, you're an MSP with 50 employees, then maybe the person that's doing purchasing, you won't even talk to him as a salesperson, right? So you send something over, and that person needs to exactly know what you mean, which process, which things to order, and then to ship it to which customer. So there can't be too many.
And you need to build for that rather than for now, if possible. Just always try and build with that kind of future state in mind if your plan is to grow.
Exactly. Like build for the future. See how you can already get that into your systems. Use the right fields for everything, and then you can scale a lot easier at a later stage.
Thank you very much, Bram.
Absolutely.
Great insight as always. We'll see you next month.
Till next month.
So that's it for our roundup. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate you being here, whether you're watching it in your own time or whether you're watching it live. Listen, we're going to be in Berlin for PAX 8, and we would absolutely love to see you there. It's going to be a huge event, and we've got some, as you heard there, we've got some really good news to share and to show some great examples of how you can work with PAX 8 and Salesbuildr. So I'm looking forward to that. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.